first time in decades a president has deployed the National Guard without a state's consent. Governor Newsome posting this to X just in the last hour.
It's a serious moment. I mean, this Human guy, these guys, it's the band of misfits.
Yeah.
It really is. This is serious. The people's lives are at stake. The reputation of this country is at stake. Great American cities and states. It's not just, this is a preview for things to come. This isn't about LA per se. It's about us today. It's about you, everyone watching tomorrow. I promise you. I mean, this guy's unhinged. Donald Trump is unhinged right now.
In response, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem saying this.
Governor Newsome has proven that he makes bad decisions. The president knows that he makes bad decisions, and that's why the president chose the safety of this community over waiting for Governor Newsome to get some sanity. And that's one of the reasons why these National Guard soldiers are being federalized, so they can use their special skill set to keep peace.
All right, there are going to be a lot of legal questions around the use of the National Guard. Joining us now, federal defense attorney Ronald Chapman. Welcome to you and thank you. So Title 10 of U.S. Code, this gives the president the authority. What authority does it give the National Guard in a situation like this on the streets of L.A.?
Yeah, it's a lot more limited than what most people think. Title 10 really is only going to allow the National Guard to engage in crowd control, to attempt to disperse the crowd, act as a deterrent effect. But what it won't allow them to do is to detain citizens, throw them in jail, make any sort of arrest or move forward with prosecution. They're really going to be there to aid local law enforcement and make sure that the protests are quelled, unlike traditional local law enforcement efforts, which will still be sort of deployed under what Gavin Newsome wants them to be deployed for.
And was this under the president's authority to applicably disperse the troops there? I mean, did he have the authority to do that as you read the law?
Yes, absolutely. So I know Gavin Newsome has threatened to sue. I don't think that it's likely that he would achieve a favorable outcome unless for some reason the troops started to step outside of line of traditional authority. But the ability to deploy the troops belongs to the president. And basically the factor is periods of unrest. And what is unrest? Well, it can be something temporary. We all may recall the Kent State issue that happened many, many years ago. That was sort of a faulty deployment of the National Guard. But here, as long as the troops remain peaceful, their deployment would be lawful to quell any sort of unrest, especially what we've been seeing out there right now.
I think common sense will dictate, we know the difference between a peaceful protest and a violent riot. And when we start to see vandalism and, objects being thrown to one party or another, what are the implications for the president here when it comes to free speech and addressing these types of events?
Yes, absolutely. The Supreme Court has been very clear about this. Protests can be restricted in some cases to time and place, and certainly violence and even statements that sort of advocate for violence can be a violation of the First Amendment. That's something that traditionally people argued Donald Trump had engaged in around the time of January 6th. So what would be criminalized in this context would be any actual violence, any destruction of property, and those who are organizing violent groups. Protesters, those peacefully protesting the issues, are certainly going to be undisturbed by the National Guard.
Ronald, do you see any other legal challenges that the president might face in these actions or vice versa that the state and the governor may face as a result?
Well, I could see some legal actions related to the nature of the specific deportations. Remember, we have ICE raids going on. They may be based on bad information. There may be some people who are falsely detained. To the extent that other forces other than the FBI, ICE, federal forces are going in there and arresting people, there may be lawsuits against those individuals related to some of those detentions. But with respect to the deployment of the National Guard, I don't expect to see any significant litigation or anything that really has a chance unless, as I said before, we start to see those National Guard troops stay too long, occupy, and push boundaries, which very well may be possible.
Well, and they may not have a choice. I mean, they're there to protect federal agents, not civilian law enforcement. But when things, sort of boil over, you have to act in the moment. Ronald Chapman, thank you so much for your time and legal perspective. Appreciate it.
Thank you.